Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and good evening to you. Good morning. 大家好. My name is Heng. Today is Saturday, December 16th, here in the Gold Coast of Queensland. It's a Friday, December 15th in California. Hope you're all well. We're going to begin another investigation of the picture biography of Master Empty Cloud. And I do hope all of you are ready for a wonderful session. Today's story is just a tremendous story, and we're going to do something very special with today. So, welcome again. And I wanted to say that those of you who would like to listen to what I'm saying in Chinese, please look at your Zoom, your software. There's, down in the right-hand corner, there's a yellow globe, and it says interpretation. That's where you go to listen to 中文。如果各位想听一种流利的普通话的翻译，你的软体，这个 Zoom 这个软体右下角都有一个小地球。这个地球呢 ，interpretation， 你 click 在那里，你都会听到这个流利的中文普通话一个义工啊。他就把我所讲的英语呢翻译这个普通话。好。Also, if you'd like to hear today's lecture in Vietnamese, please look at the chat box. There will be a place where you can click for a separate link and listen to what I'm saying in Vietnamese. Okay, now today's Dharma request is coming to us from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Vera is going to be the Dharma requester. So let's see here. We're going to bring this up. Try that again. Okay, now, there we go. All right, I'm going to make 3 half bows and invite everybody to join me. Let's make a first half bow. 一完心礼，二完心。And third, 3 half bows. Okay, Vera, if you'd like to request Dharma, go ahead and do it now.
恭敬大德圣亲，为悉发挥一切众生，请转妙法轮教导我们，如何了生脱死离苦得的速者无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to live suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize no birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samya samputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samya samputoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. may we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. All righty, thank you, Vera, for the Dharma request all the way from Brazil. 师父上人, 各位师兄, everybody, welcome. We want to acknowledge country. We respectfully acknowledge the Kombu-Meri people of the Ugambi language region as traditional storytellers and custodians of the land where the monastery is located. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 就说我们恭敬地承认有冈贝语族的哥伦布马里人是我们寺院所在地的传统世序人和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长老们，他们的长者就表示致敬，并且向他们所有从未放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Okay, good indeed. Moving on here. We don't have a bell, so I'm going to pass on the bell song for the moment. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much. Now, look at... Is there a bell? That's okay. We'll do it next time. I wanted people to take a look. DRBA says, seems like a lot of background noise with the current setup compared to that. Let's try it. Let's turn it off for a while, and as soon as it starts to sweat, we have an air conditioner. It's not raining. No, someone says it's raining. 下雨, 不是下雨. So, no. So, Sam, we can turn it off, right? Yeah. Otherwise, we've got 68 people who are hearing our air conditioner. And as soon as it gets hot, we'll turn it on for another 5 minutes. How's that? There we go. Yeah, okay, yeah, please keep us there. You should immediately hear something better, right? Okay, let us know if that's better. Let's see. Yeah, with a proper mic, it shouldn't pick up so much background noise. Unfortunately, I don't have the shotgun mic. If I had the shotgun, 可以放这样，不必合掌。Put your palms down. There you go. Okay, all right. Say hello, everyone, to us here in the Gold Coast. Vera from Sao Paulo. Let's see, our fearless volunteers who are translating, Cliff and Kevin, are here in the room with us in the Gold Coast. Asung is Vancouver, British Columbia, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Let's see, Connie in Sunnyvale, Montreal, Canada. Singapore, Round Rock, Texas, my goodness. Berkeley, California. Alameda, California. Jakarta, Indonesia. Seattle, Washington. Shandong, Waterloo, that's in Toronto. Let's see, close to Toronto? No, that's in Ontario. Leone is here, Los Angeles. Louis and Christine, good, welcome. Okay, Islao in Kansas. San Rafael, Singapore, Bay Area, Mesa, Arizona. Pinole, San Jose, Santa Clara, Seattle, Oklahoma. Whole world is here listening. Colorado, Ukiah, Vancouver, Santa Barbara. All right, then we switch over and we have Beijing, 包头, 内蒙古, 黑龙江, 还有什么地方? 杭州, OK, 冯家一个人, 好，欢迎辽宁, 浙江蓝海, 安徽苏州安徽, 陕西, 泉州, 还有吉林, 河北唐山, 北京, 深圳, 江苏镇江, 包头, 南京, 海南, 一个台湾人都没有，你看，哎呦，上海、广东，不要说那么，OK， 河北三河，欢迎淮南、上海，怎么搞的？他们都在那儿念佛吧？对了，OK，yeah, OK. Iwan says hearing real people's voices in the Buddha Hall from the other end is simply wonderful. Your voices are simply wonderful. So, say hello to Iwan. There you go. Oh, she put a big heart on these. All right. So today we'll jump right in. What's exciting about today is people should know that there's what we're looking at every week is Master Xuyun Hua's summarizing of the life story of Master Empty Cloud, which lasted 120 years of stories. So how we know about Master Empty Cloud's life is because he left an autobiography. Zizhuan. He left an autobiography. And the autobiography is very terse. He was not one to waste a single word. But he did. He did leave his story. And I'm sure he responded to disciples pleading with him, Shifu, Shifu, please let us know so that later generations can be inspired by the way you dealt with the Dharma and the world during that very tumultuous time of the Republic, the last years of the Qing Empire, and then the Republican period. So he did. He wrote his autobiography, very brief, but we have it, and it's called Xuyun Lao Heshang Nian Pu. And so Master Hua was, his resolve was to create a biography of his teacher, Master Empty Cloud, that included pictures. He wanted people who perhaps couldn't read all that well, or young people, to be able to follow the story in these beautiful, I don't know, are they etchings? Are they ink pen? Probably etchings. So he commissioned an artist. The artist drew the pictures according to the 200 stories that Master Hua outlined and then accompanied with a 4-line verse. So that's our book, is biographical stories summarized out of the Nianpu, accompanied by a picture, accompanied by a verse. So it's all stories, and we know everybody loves stories, right? So that's what we got. Now, I found online the Nianpu. So when I'm telling these stories, we first look at the Chinese, right? We follow the Chinese. Then we look at the English, translated out of the Chinese. We look at the picture, and then we look at the verse in Chinese and English. I also look at the Nianpu. And today's Nianpu is really worth expanding Shifu's summary. So Master Hua summarizes what's in the Nianpu. But we, in this case, I'm going to take us back. Now, the Nianpu is in what? It's in Chinese. It hasn't been translated word for word into English. So I'll do the translation. But the story is just great. It's a conversation. You know how when we read the Six Patriarch Sutra, everybody loves in the Liu Zi Fa Bao Tanjing the stories of the Sixth Patriarch crossing people over, right? He gets people to wake up to their puti xin, their bodhi resolve, through conversation. And it's called the Yin You Ping. That's in that chapter in the Six Patriarch Sutras, everybody's favorite, because we hear about his debate with Master Shenjie, who became Yongjia Dashi. And, oh, it's wonderful to see the two of them Chan combat, they call it, right? Chanji, Chanfeng. And so today's story from Master Empty Cloud is kind of like that. So we're going to look at what Shifu wrote and then go deeper into it in the Nianpu. Okay, everybody clear on what's up today? Okay, let's see. Let's see here. 义公师兄中文翻译的声音有点小。I just read it. I didn't read it. Okay. Thank you. 感恩大家都要听得清楚就对了。Okay. So remember last week, what happened last week? We had Master Anti-Cloud, going from being the hard-working, what was he? He was the dian zuo. He was the cook, taking care of the kitchen. He was the xing tang. He was the server in the dining room. He was the shui tou, cai tou, the gardener. So 4 years he worked in the monastery, intensely social, just putting his ego down on behalf of serving others. That's what he knew. And wow, he really created a lot of blessings that way. Then there was the story of his father dying and the 3 important women in his life, his stepmother and his 2 fiancées' wives, all left home, all became nuns. So what did he do? He said, enough, enough socializing. I'm going out into the mountains, because that's how people get enlightened. They get enlightened by applying effort on the mind ground. 在心地上用功, that's how they wake up. So I'm going to go out and do it again, living alone in the mountains. 27 years old, there he is. Here's the image, right? We see him out there in a cave, letting his hair grow long, growing a mustache and a beard, meditating, robe, eating mao song, is it right? Song mao, mao song, eating like lichen and here it is, song mao and chen shui, drinking spring water. Okay, that's where he is now. And last week, turns out that this kind of cultivation really suited him. So for 3 more years, 28 to age 30, 28岁至30岁以时，皆具岩洞，采山草叶充饥，不使人间烟火，初时屡现圣境，而不着境，一心正观念佛，就日久身轻体健，步履如飞，而从目明，可察秋毫，二通迥然，人间一味昧，可怕，故而几奔. Okay, there we go. So this is what we looked at last week, right? So 28, 29, 30 years old, he lived out on the cliffs, and he didn't eat anything cooked. Everything he ate was raw, not only raw, but wild, gathered wild food. And there was no stove, there was no fire, so he just took whatever he could gather and ate that. And for sure, after a while, his body started to transform. He started to have states. His body got very big, filling up space. His body got very small, disappearing in a mote of dust. His body got very hot, so he just felt like he was boiling. His body got very cold, and he thought he was a piece of ice. All of this going on, and he knew it was just Jingji, nothing special, just the body undergoing the transformations of the Dharma on a human body. He recited the Buddha's name with concentrated focus. The days passed. He got lighter. His health was super. He was just, basically his skin was no longer the limit of his person. He felt like all of nature was his body. When he was walking, he felt he was flying. His hearing, his senses got super sharp. His eyes could see the slightest detail. His eyes started to glow. People saw him, they thought he was a ghost, they ran away. I told the story last week about seeing Master Haideng and having that same experience of somebody whose eyes were on fire. There he is, here are people running away, right? Up there. It's a ghost. Okay. 穴居野处原始风，少欲知足无所争，不欲观心何生住，逍遥三界任西东. Living in a primitive way, far off in a wilderness cave, knowing contentment, few desires, no struggle, no contention. He didn't speak, he watched his mind, how thoughts rise and stop. Wandering the threefold world, he traveled freely from west to east. Okay, so that's our monk. He's out there living totally free. Do you suppose there are people in the Aussie bush living this way? Ben, you think there's probably some hermits out there? It was you. That's who I saw out there. That's it. Yeah. No smoke. How long can you do without cooking, without cooked food, I wonder? That's tough. Probably have a can opener. Crack open the cans.
We used to hide provisions up in the mountains. Every time we went up, we'd take up extra and we just put it in places all over.
There you go.
So after 6 months, you didn't have to take anything.
There you go. Wowee. Okay. So what a scene, right? Now, we should know that our teacher, Shifu Master Xuyun, he essentially, he was not out in the far, 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 far outback. He was out in the mountains where you buried your relatives. So he was living beside his mother's grave for 3 years. And nobody else lived out there. And boy, we've heard that right now in Shandong, it is minus 20 below zero right now in Shandong, the coldest winter ever. And Manchuria is even farther north. So Shifu was out there for 3 years through the cold, through the heat, the hot. When it gets hot, it's just, yeah, it's rugged, right? You have to be tough. Okay, so he's out there. People look at him, they run away in fright. They think he's a ghost. What's next? Age 31, big turning point in the life of Master Empty Cloud. Are we ready? Here we go. 公超然无外，你们公无挂无碍，信不遨游，至文州，依山言七指，有禅者智，顶礼求教。皇愧无以应免曰。I'm sorry. Yeah. You're all very good. Okay. 免曰，愚痴无知，不明开示，必须修行多久？告知。禅者曰：天台花顶，荣敬老人，乃今唯一善知识。Okay, good stuff. Okay, let's see if we can read this all together. Here we go. Ready? The Master transcended the limits of the material world. He lived free from fetters and obstacles. He wandered about freely until he reached a cliff hut in Wenzhou, where he settled in. A Chan cultivator arrived one day and bowed in respect, seeking instruction. The Master was unable to reply and felt ashamed. Frustrated, he said, see that comma? That's a break, that's a pause. Take a breath, ready? Frustrated, he said, my lack of wisdom prevents me from giving you any useful advice. The Chan cultivator then asked how long the Master had been practicing, and the Master told him about his stay here in the mountains. The Chan cultivator then told him that on Hua Ding Flower Peak on Tiantai Mountain, the Venerable Rong Jing interpenetrating mirror was the only reliable spiritual advisor of this generation. Okay, that's interesting. Do you all see my desktop? Dun, dun, dun. Hua Ding Jiangci. I've been there. I've been to Huading Si on Tiantaishan. That's where it is. Take a look at the picture. Here is our monk. Here is the good advisor who has come out to the cave, and he's having a conversation. Now, there's a lot of back and forth here. You have to read between the lines to get the whole essence of it. But luckily, we've got the Nianpu to fill in the blanks. Ready? Let's look at the verse. Here we go. Ready? 歧路之迷化高贤，若非静居其天贤，知是曰善有第一，遥视天台花顶前。Okay, ready? Here we go. A lofty sage appeared to point out the straight road that leaves a confused path behind. It was either a god of the heavens of purity or perhaps a celestial immortal. There is one wise advisor. They say he is the best, sharing far and wide the Tiantai school. A good advisor lives at Huading Peak. All right. Now, we're going to switch. We're going to jump over to the Nianpu. This is the actual biography, that autobiography, that is, that Master Empty Cloud kept. And here we go. Okay, it's divided into years. 28. So, let's see. There we go. Okay, I'll go quickly so you all can just catch up. 以上3年住山洞，此3年中，居子研穴，是在松毛，即青草叶，喝在阴间水，日久酷律俱闭，尽一那必体必理，头上续金刚拳。送发长应齿，双目炯然，人望见之意为媚，不而走，于亦不与人言谈。Okay, so there's a few details here that we didn't get, that Shifu in his summary, he had to squeeze it all in. So he left some of the details out, and that's the fun part. Yeah, that's right. So what happened? It says he was living in a cave for 3 years, and he ate pine nuts and green leaves, drank clear spring water. His clothing wore out. His clothes and his shoes just wore out. So essentially he was naked, or whatever he could cover himself with. There was a golden Vajra light around his head. His hair was many feet long. His eyes glowed. People saw him and thought he was definitely a being from the spirit realm, something that you see on Netflix, right? In a Japanese anime. They were afraid and they ran away. And he didn't talk to anybody, never spoke. Okay, now it goes on to say, 初一二年实践圣境. After 1 or 2 years, he started to have those states in meditation. 不以为意, but he didn't take them as special. That's really important that it says that, because you can really, really go wrong here. After things start to change, you can feel like, oh boy, maybe I'm already enlightened, or I'm almost enlightened. And then when your state changes, and you go, oh, what did I do? I lost it, right? So you have to, Shifu said, do not attach to states. Okay, 一心照顾纪念佛. With one mind, he reflected on and contemplated on reciting the Buddha's name. 畜生山大子中, he lived out there in the mountains. 虎狼不侵, tigers and wolves didn't bother him. 蛇虫不损, snakes and bugs stayed away. 不受人怜, nobody cared about him, basically. Nobody pitied him. 不食人间烟火, he ate nothing that came over a cooking fire. Everything was raw and wild. 沐天息地, he just merged with heaven and earth. 万物皆备于我, all 10,000 things and I are one. 心中喜悦, he was really happy. He felt so light and totally integrated, right? No troubles. 自以为是常人, he thought he might be one of the people in the 4 dhyana heavens, in the Brahma realm, the form realm. 复世人之患, 为口体耳, 故人之所以为, 衣钵万顷. So he was beyond the things that trouble those of us in the world. The ancients said that his alms bowl rang louder than 10,000 bells. So, in other words, he was completely independent of any contact with humanity. 我今并一钵而无知, I don't even have a bowl, he said, so I'm even better than the ancients. 无碍自在, he was unbound, no troubles at all. 因之胸次理然, 体力自强. He became really strong. Physically, he became kind of like a Superman. 耳目聪明, his ears and eyes were extremely clear and bright. 履步如飞, when he walked, 步履如飞, he really felt like he was flying. 自问亦不自知其为然, 自问亦不自知其所以为然. He didn't assume that he was this way, so he didn't attach to his state. 后一年, the last of those 3 years, 乃随心所欲, he could do absolutely anything he wanted. 随意所知, 有山可住, he was free to travel anywhere. As long as there was a mountain, he could live there. As long as there was grass, he had food to eat. 心性从心性, he cultivated all kinds of practices, and before you know it, another year passed. Okay, the next year, age 31, 1870. This is 1870. Think of where Australia was in 1870. The United States was just 5 years out of the Civil War. Reconstruction had begun. Okay. Now, this is the one that I told you about in the intro. Look at this conversation. Shifu has to meet the kind of the editorial style of his picture biography, so he can't do the dialogue. But look at that's why I wanted to present this to everybody, because we get the nitty-gritty. Okay, here we go. 一日新至文州某山, he let's see. 一日新至文州某山, 其次心中一腔人之. So one day out there in a place near Wenzhou, in a cave, a Chan cultivator came. 丁里问曰, 久闻高行, 特求开示. I've heard about you out here in the mountains for a very long time, and I have come asking for your instructions. 请师父慈悲开示, right? Please, Shifu, will you compassionately speak Dharma? So, 必引疑问, 深感叹慌. As soon as Master Anti-Cloud heard this, he was immediately ashamed, and he said, 知识愚昧, 少知参学, 少所参学, 望上座慈悲居士. He says, oh, I am really stupid. I have not heard Dharma teachings. Please go find some other senior seated monk to compassionately instruct you. Okay, so that's his polite way of saying no. I don't know anything. I can't teach, which is honest, because he hasn't heard the Dharma before. He's only done asceticism, and then everybody else was listening to the Dharma. He was in the garden, in the kitchen, in the dining room. So the Chan monk says, 你如是心境有多少年? How long have you been cultivating this way, here by yourself in the mountains? The answer, 我已少有参学. I haven't gone anywhere else. 不能与汝说 I can't even tell you. 你可到天台华顶龙泉岸，请问永进老法师，他是天台第一有道德者，必有饶益如也。So the monk says, okay, I honestly, I haven't studied that much either, so I can't teach you. However, what you do is you go to Tiantai Mountain, Hua Ding Mountain in Tiantai Shan. Tiantai Shan is a range. Hua Ding Peak is one of the peaks in Tiantai Mountain. Go to Dragon Spring Abode, Longquan An, Dragon Spring Convent, some people would say, and look for Yong Jing, the elder master Yong Jing. He is the #1 virtuous monk of the whole Tiantai system. Anything he says to you will be good for you, he says. So the Chan visitor is telling Master Empty Cloud where to go find a good teacher. Interesting, right? He came looking for instruction. Empty Cloud says, no, I can't speak Dharma. I haven't heard any Dharma. I'm just an ascetic. So the guest monk says, okay, you go to Huading Shan. Where is Huading Shan? Right there. Huading Jiangsi, right? And he says, look for Master Yong Jing. Okay, so 我至上华顶. So he did. Master Empty Cloud went to Huading Shan, 去毛安外. He got to the outside of a thatched hut, kind of like, what would it be? It'd be kind of like living in, living outside our lotus pond, or living in the Arhat Trail, right? In the amphitheater of the Arhat Trail. He saw a monk. There he was, Jian Yiseng. 问老法师在否? He said, is the old monk here? The answer was, patched robe is me. Yeah, that's me. I'm the old monk, says the monk. 祭见千顶礼. So Master Empty Cloud goes up and he bows to him very respectfully. 法师全不顾事. And what happened? The old monk ignored him, didn't even look at him, just kind of, looked away. 曰学人出来亲近老法师，忘弃垂辞. He says, I, the student, have come especially to get close to you, the teacher. Would you please be compassionate and teach me something? 师故是良久. So the old monk stares at him for a long time, looks at him, stares at him. He says, 你是僧爷, Dao ye, Su ye. Are you a Buddhist monk? Are you a Taoist? Are you an ordinary person? Da ye, Sung. What's that? Monk, Buddhist monk. Good. So it's choice #1, Sung or Dao or Su, right? Sangha member, Taoist teacher, or ordinary person. He says, okay, question, 受戒法, have you received the precepts? He says. Answer, 已受具, yes I have, received the complete precepts. Comes the answer, 你这样是有多久? How long have you been like this? 预料速经过. And Master Empty Cloud essentially told the story. The response, 谁教你如此做? Who taught you to do this? Who are you? Who taught you to do that? Who made you this kind of ascetic? Answer, a little bit proud, notice. 因见古人每多苦心成道，故此想学. I observed that all the ancients who accomplished the way did it because of bitter ascetic practice. That's why I chose to study this way. Okay? So that's his rationale. I'm just following the ancients. I'm doing what all the others did. Okay, now look what happened. He gets a little bit of a lecture. Notice. What does the Master Yongjing say? 你知道古人特深，还知道古人特心否？ I'm sorry, I said it wrong. 你知道古人痴身，还是知道古人痴心否？观你作为禁欲外道，戒废正路，忘了10年功夫，厌弃古云，寿命晚年，亦不过如冷眼10种闲之一，去道尚远，既进一步，正道出国，亦不过自了汉也。若菩萨发心，上求下化，自度度人，处世间不离世间法，你勉强觉力，连裤子都不穿，未免显其利益，又何怪功夫不能成片呢？ So really powerful scolding. Basically, here's the lion's roar, okay? He says, now tell me, he said, did the ancients did they cultivate for their bodies, or did the ancients cultivate for their minds? So you know ancients upheld body, or no ancients upheld mind? Question. 观你作为 As I look at what you're doing now, the path that you're on right now, 禁欲外道, you're not even a Buddhist. You're completely not on the Buddhist path. 戒废正路, what you're doing now is the wrong road. You have wasted 10 years of hard work, he said. Out there in the mountains and the valleys, you could live to be 10,000 years old, but you're totally stuck in the state of the immortals in the Shurangama Sutra. You're just going to be nothing more than an ascetic in the mountains. 10,000 years like that, no progress. You are very far from the Tao, he said. If you take one more step down this path, he said, Zheng Dao Chuguo, you might get to that first stage, but you're only going to be what's called a self-ending arhat. You're going to be a dead-end arhat. Now, bodhisattvas, on the other hand, he said, seek to ultimately become Buddhas and immediately cross others over. They take themselves across and cross others over. Chu shijian bu li shijian fa. They leave the world behind, but they're completely immersed in worldly dharmas. This thing that you got going, where you force yourself to cut off all kinds of food, you don't even wear pants. You don't even have pants on. You're not even dressed. How can you be anything but special and weird? You just have a special style. 又何怪功夫不能成片呢? He said, you might accomplish some kind of weird state, but that's all. He said. So empty cloud, right? 我被老人痛楚一阵. He said, I felt like I was stuck with an arrow, shot with an arrow, a needle right in my heart. He zinged me completely, took my breath away. Arto Dadi, he absolutely deflated my balloon. Fu Dingmi Chokashi. So I bowed to him and asked for instruction. His answer was, 我叫你若听在这里住，不听任去. He said, all right, I'll teach you. He said, but as soon as you stop doing what I tell you, you're gone. Get out of here. If you listen to what I say, you can stay. If you don't listen, you're gone, he said. My way or the highway, essentially. So, 曰特来亲近，言感不听，世纪生意，残酷义律，令剃发沐浴，做无趣，并教看托死是与是谁的话头。我从此施咒示范，既学天台教官，勤劳作务，得失驾驭。Okay, powerful turn. He says, I came especially to study with you. How could I possibly dare not to listen? How would I dare to ignore your instructions? So at that point, the teacher gave him some pants. gave him some shoes, shaved his head, told him to bathe. Can you imagine what he smelled like? And so I started to join the community. Furthermore, he gave me the huatou, who is dragging this dead corpse around. Right? That's the huatou. It's not who's mindful the Buddha. It's special huatou. Who's dragging this corpse? That's one of the standard huatous that people look into. And so at that point, I gave my system a shock and started to eat rice porridge and rice, cooked rice. And I began to learn the Tian Tai teachings and contemplation, Qin Lao Zi Wu. And I started to follow the assembly, and the teacher, my teacher, approved. So, wow, there it is. What a story. So, cool. Empty Cloud has made a decision. And what was the name of that? What was the name of that episode? It was called Meeting a Good and Wise Advisor. So, luckily, the monk who didn't get a name, we didn't find out who that monk was, who came out and went looking for Master Empty Cloud, because he'd heard that there's, out in the mountains, there's a Lao Shuxing. And he found him and asked, he did the right thing. He asked for instructions. Empty Cloud says, well, I really can't. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know anything. So that's interesting to realize that these, let's see, there we go. You can be like an amazing cultivator and still not know any Dharma. And how precious is it to know Dharma so that when things come up, excuse me, what does it mean to know Dharma compared to what Master Empty Cloud? He was probably in the fourth dhyana, right? Or up in the dhyanas, like one of the gods. What that means is he didn't have any principles. Shifu would call it Ming Li, to be able to explain principles. So even if you know, it's like your feet don't touch the ground. Your body is so light, and you can do what science would call a miracle with your eyes and your ears and your body. And sure enough, not to cheapen it, I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. Most people couldn't bear it, right? But what's missing is called wisdom. And wisdom is the ability to go from what you see in front of your eyes and bring it back to a principle. Say, oh, this is a case of cause and effect. Oh, this is a case of virtue, transforming raw materials into light. You know, you can see a situation and put it in context. Understand from the seed to the branch tip. And the acorn falls, and you can see the acorn all the way to the oak tree. And you look at the roses, beautiful roses like we have out here outside the office here at Gold Coast Dharma Rail. And those roses come out of the cane. The cane is just this green thing with spikes on it. Most of the year, it's just there in the ground. You can't get close to it because you get stuck with the spikes, the thorns. But then when you add water and it's the summer, wow, these incredible blossoms come out. Yet the blossoms exist only because of the cane with the thorns, and the cane and the thorns are able to produce these incredible blossoms. So when you have Dharma, you can see the connection from the seed to the fruit. And then inside the fruit are seeds that then produce more fruit, right? So Master Empty Cloud, because he hadn't heard Buddha Dharma, he didn't know the deeper insights that cultivation brings. So because he's got these incredible good roots, his opportunity came up and he jumped on it, right? He could have said, why bother? I'm happy. You know, I don't need you. Go ask somebody else. But he didn't. He actually took advantage of the situation and came down the mountain, swallowed his pride, bowed to the good advisor, and once again shifted back into monastery mode, right? Because he was, remember, he ran away from his dad out in the mountains, then came back down to cultivate blessings. His father died. He ran back out to the mountains, spent 3 more years. Now he's back in the monastery. And this is kind of when the Master Empty Cloud that we know was really, really forged. Okay, there we go. I wanted to let people know about this. Take a look here. Today, 16, that's today. Look at that, my goodness. We have begun the cultivation of an Amitabha recitation session here in the Gold Coast. 你们跟我们是比你们前2个小时，比在我们的后边2个小时的各位，你们可以用 Zoom 这个软体来参加了啊，看看这个号码，或者把你的手机，你给这个 QR 扫一扫，然后看这个时间表，你们可以参加了。So if you folks, especially everybody who's here on this side of the planet, if it's the 16th for you, you can join us. We're reciting the Buddha's name, 2 different periods of the day. Then we have a lecture at night and the Great Transference. So please do use your phone and give the QR code a copy there. And here's our number. Here's our ID on Zoom. So please do join in. That should be, you'd be welcome. Okay. This whole question of cultivating asceticism is very interesting. I went for a period when I ate no oil and no salt. I was determined that I was going to be very special and try, to get rid of desire by manipulating the externals. So while this was like the last year of the pilgrimage that I did in my younger days, and I let it be known that I was no longer going to eat oil and salt. And if anybody wanted to make offerings to me, they had better make it 没有油盐的菜不吃有油盐的菜就不吃了 And so Master Hua, when I made that vow, he said, cultivating asceticism 太过跟不及都一样了要合乎中道 He said, too much and too little get to the same place. Both are a mistake. Follow the middle way, he said. And of course I didn't listen because I was determined that I was going to put an end to desire by manipulating external. And so the poor lay people had to, if they wanted to make an offering to the bowing monks, had to offer special no oil, no salt food. And of course my companion, Heng Chao, who ate normally, already we don't eat what? Onions, garlic, shallots, leeks, chives, meat, fish, dairy, too much sugar, right? Alcohol, tobacco, all these things that other people eat that we don't eat. And yet here I am saying, oh, and don't add oil and don't add salt. And poor Heng Chao is like rolling his eyes, oh man, this clown, what the hell? So anyway, so that lasted for a while. And when we arrived at Gohuyo in Los Angeles, one day we had been out speaking Dharma somewhere. We came back and the meal was over. And so the lay people had just a little bit of leftovers and they gave it to us. And of course they had oil and salt. They didn't expect us. And so I was like really not happy. And I said, oh, I'm not going to eat then, right? And so, making everybody feel terrible and making a special style, showing my special style. And so sitting there at the table, and Heng Chao is eating as normal and just shaking his head. You know, he has to live with me the rest of the time too. So anyway, after about 15 minutes, this food tray appears. And here it is. And I look at the food, and it's unseasoned food, special unseasoned food. And I said to the layman, I wrote a note because I wasn't talking then, said, "What is this?" And he said, "Oh, this is Master Hua's lunch. He said he's not eating today and he wants you to have his lunch," he said. And it's unseasoned food, right? And you know that Shifu did not eat that day because he somehow knew that I was going to be there putting on a special style show. I felt really ashamed. And I thought, I'm making the lay people unhappy because I need special treatment. We're already eating 1 meal a day of, very tight diet. And yet I'm trying to add trouble to these people who are happy to support me. And yet here's Shifu, who even goes without food entirely so that I can get lunch of the food that I eat. And I just felt this big. I felt the size of a green bean, and I thought maybe I should relax a little bit, follow instructions. So at that point, I let that vow go, and Shifu got to eat too. Shifu ate, Heng Chao ate, I could eat. And the poor lay people didn't have to do special. So for lay people who say, "Oh, we are going to eat 1 meal a day, just like you monks," not recommended. All the lay people who don't eat breakfast and don't eat dinner because Shifu told his Chujiaren to live that way, not recommended, right? If you're alive in the world and you have a family to raise and you have work to do and you have to drive your car safely and deal with everything in the world, put the gas in the gas tank, fill it up. Regular is fine, doesn't have to be high test or supreme. Just regular, fill the tank with gas and drive. Food is fuel. It's not something that you need to get down to the bone to prove that you're a cultivator. So I really think that left home people, if we can eat 1 meal a day. That's fine. We live in the monastery. Our lifestyle supports less intake. That way our meditation is very calm and quiet. But lay people at home, please cultivate anjiao li, anjiao fen, right? According to your strength. And that includes eating enough just to keep your strength up so you can cultivate and do good things for the world. Okay, there we go. So can we dedicate merit? See you all next week. We'll find out what happens next to Master Empty Cloud. May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with love, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see, our hands and hearts can find in unity. Lay our minds away to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. before we end, we can bow to the Buddhas. Here we go. First bow. Second bow. And third bow. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Alrighty, thanks for joining everyone. We'll see you all next week. Amitofo. See you then. Bye-bye now.